What is going on, my fellow Marvel Rivals gamers? It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and today we're going to be doing a Buggy VOD review. For those of you who already get the gist of Bucky's kit and stuff like that, you can skip ahead to the timestamp provided in the middle of the screen. But if not, without further ado, let's talk about the abilities so that we can hurry up and get into this gameplay. So, first things first, like I said, let's talk about Bucky's abilities. So, ability number one is going to be Bucky's Hook. Bucky's Hook is one of the strongest abilities in the game, just for the sole fact of displacement, right? One hook can quite literally change a game. Let's imagine we have a Emma Frost like we do on our team, and you hook the enemy tank. Right? You pull him forward, the Emma Frost throws a shield behind that tank. Now that tank is taking damage from you and your team, while also not getting healed from their team because most heals get blocked by shields, walls, etc. Right? As well as when you use those abilities, even if you don't hit them, you're getting shielding. Right? So with that being said, you're very survivable. Right? You can displace the enemy and just put them in positions they don't want to be. Any ability that can change the enemy's position and force them into a bad position is going to be insanely strong. Now, the shift is going to be Bucky's dash. What Bucky does is he dashes forward. At the end of his dash, there's a little uppercut, right? So it does a little bit of damage, as well as it provides you with shielding. It's a great way to use his ability is to combo with your hook. You can hook somebody, pull them while turning to the side or even all the way around, and then immediately after that hook ends, you're punching, and what that will do is that'll drag the enemy even deeper into your backline. You can also use it for mobility, or just use it to just box out people, whatever you want to do. And then the other ability is going to be I don't know what to call this. I call it his pulse or whatever. You throw basically like a shockwave forward. It slows enemies. It hits. It can ground flyers, things like that. And yeah, it doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but one thing I want to say as well is all Bucky's abilities do reload his gun. Bucky has 3 shots in his gun. Bummer, but by weaving in your abilities, you can also reload your gun. One thing I would advise against is just using your abilities just to reload your gun. Bucky's abilities make you very survivable, so I definitely wouldn't just use your abilities willy-nilly. One ability that I'm okay with using willy-nilly is going to be his like shockwave, and the reason for that is it's not like super insane, but I do like it to like do AoE damage or whatever, right? If I see a lot of enemies in a line, so with that one, I don't mind like dumping 3 shots and then throwing it so I can have 3 more shots at the ready. But when it comes to your dash, right, your punch and your hook, I definitely don't just use those without a purpose, right? Other than that, his ult, basically Kraken Impact. What that does is you leap into the air, and after a short duration, you either fall back down and hit the ground, or you can activate it slamming on a designated location that you aim at. If you hit an enemy, what you would do is you would place a mark on them. What that mark does is if they hit that mark or would fall below it, it will execute the enemy, right? So you're basically marking an enemy for execute. If you get them within that threshold and you use your ult, or the ult brings them into the threshold when you hit them, it will just eliminate them, right? And after you eliminate them, you have about a 7-second period where you can go again, right? So Bucky's ult can feel very oppressive due to the fact that it's really good at snowballing. So one person gets eliminated, and that leads to you eliminating the rest of the team because you're placing that execute mark on them and things like that, right? Other than that, I would say that's basically the rundown of his kit. And yeah, we're going to get into the gameplay. Hopefully you all enjoy. Alright, so we're playing the Bucky on Midtown. When it comes to positioning, right, I'm not really too particular. If we look at our team comp, this will kind of give us a better idea of how we should play. I always like to base how I play off my team, but, push comes to shove, I think, as the Bucky, because I don't know if your dash can get you to this high ground here. I would say the safest bet would probably always to just start high ground just to get a feel. If we look at our comp, we have 2 tanks, right? I would ask a tank to play high ground, and if anything, you can play high ground with the tank, which will allow you to kind of just fight for this, use your abilities to kind of contest that space so they can't just take it for free. But if not, if they're just shoving through mid and you feel like you need to help your team, you can drop down and you can help your team, right? Another thing about Bucky's gun that I failed to mention is if we, oh my gosh, I hate when it does this. But if we draw an enemy, right? Oh, I forgot. He has to be angry because he's a bad guy. If you shoot the enemy with Bucky's gun, what will happen is it'll hit the enemy, but it'll also pierce through and do like a shotgun blast behind, right? So Bucky's really good at punishing enemies who are stacked, right? So keep that in mind as well. So I would definitely immediately just be playing behind your tanks here. Right now you just spam damage, build an ult, right? But you also want to be like thinking of opportunities where you can go for hooks, right? I'm not gonna be able to hook that thing. Ooh, you're gonna take a lot of damage here. Yeah. So your first death there, right? What that's going to come down to, and it's just going to come down to playing way too close to your tanks, right? Think about it the same way you're playing into a Bucky, right? He's hitting your tanks, it's going to hit you as well as just, there was a couple times if we go a little bit back, you can see that you're like in front of your tanks, right? So if we go all the way back here, here we are, right? You see how your tanks are already behind you? I like to use the COVID rule. Basically 6 feet, both the DPS in general, right? 6 feet. I like to maintain a gap between me and the tanks, just so I can give the tanks kind of time to react, which will allow me to react. It's like driving, right? You don't want to be right on somebody's bumper, because if they hit the brakes or if they need to back up, you know, you're there, they're hitting you, and it's just a mess, right? So you want to maintain a healthy distance, unless you see an opportunity for you to be aggressive and maybe your tank doesn't see it, but you're walking up, whatever. But I would say just maintain a healthy distance, because if you don't, things like this will happen where you're going to just end up drifting in front of them, or you're just way too close to them, and then you're just going to eat damage that you don't need to eat. You see, like, you're right here, and it's like, what does being right here do that, like, right here doesn't, right? Like, you could already kind of be in cover, you could dash back, you have cover here, or, like, you could, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be in front of this corner, right? You don't need to be right on top of them doing what they're doing. They're tanks, they're going to do their own thing. Because, like, imagine you're here, and you're kind of just jiggling this corner, popping shots, and then, like, say, like, they're dumping a lot of shots. You can even peek here and try to get a few in, or whatever. But, yeah. Now that we know that they have a dive character, our mentality needs to shift from just doing spam damage to peeling for our backline, right? You are going to be the best person to fight this Black Panther, because you can interrupt his dashes with 2 of your abilities, right? So it's going to be up to you to peel for your team, because if your supports are dead, there's no way you're going to win this game. So supports are dead, no heals, bam. So mentality shift. So we went from spamming tanks, but and now we have a Namor, so Namor is actually going to help with that backline pressure. So we'll see. I would just default to playing just next to my supports, and then if I don't need to peel for them because Namor's doing the job, then we're cool. Oop, can't hook him. That only stuns. Oh, Namor's eliminated, right? Be ready to peel for that dive when it eventually comes in. It sucks that he died, because now you guys are kind of staggered. Shark ult coming inbound. It's probably gonna grab you, yeah. Gotta save that dash for when it's coming. Wait, he actually just gave you all contest? Never mind, I'm capping. So, BP kind of did his thing first fight. Second fight, we staggered, basically. Ooh. Sorry for the yawning. I yawn a lot. But, ooh, sorry, I'm kind of like blocking the cooldowns. But yeah, so hopefully this third fight you'll be able to get it going without having a stagger. And apparently not. So you're ulting here after you've lost one. This is kind of feeling like a desperational. I don't think you'll get anything out of this, I'm being quite honest. Yeah. So I wouldn't have ulted there. I know that you probably feel like, hey, I've had my ult for 2 fights, I need to ult. But I think I wouldn't have been mad if you would have held it. You win this, you're better, right? Oh, hey man, you tried. Right, so okay, so this is a good teaching point here would be, like, it's really easy to sit here and blame your team because they are messing up, right? And I wouldn't say you're making a lot of mistakes, very minor stuff. But obviously I can't hear comms, right? So what I would say is, if you're not doing it, you need to be vocal with your team. Hey guys, we have staggered 3 fights in a row. Let's just, you know, like, we need to hard reset, like, because as of right now, you're coming back, you're down a support. The chance that you win this fight with 1 support is highly unlikely. Am I saying just give them the whole thing? No, but I would ask my team to start backing up, right? Start backing up, play safe. Just like don't play in a way where you can get isolated and get eliminated. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna walk in, someone will probably die again. Yeah, there we go. That's another death. And now you're down a tank. Thankfully, you got a pick. You could probably finish off this BP. Okay, so we rocket out and we got a trade. We got 2 picks. So we stabilize here, actually. This is nice. So one thing I would say with Bucky is just take your time more with your shots. And also, I don't know if you've gotten the infinite ammo. So if you're not asking for that, make sure you're asking for that as well. You're down a teammate again, which it sucks. It's like right when the fight starts, your team's just getting eliminated. Here comes Shark ult. You're dashing. So that's another thing too. Like once you hear that Shark ult, you kind of need to save that dash to try to avoid it. Not saying you will or you can, but it's always better to have it to try than to just be like, oh, we're gonna get grabbed. All right. Are we even all here? 1, 2. Oof. Okay. Whoa, don't drift to the right. Don't drift to the right. They're gonna isolate you if you do that. And here it comes. You can win that though. You have ult too. You can execute him. Oh, he said, I don't need it. I would have ulted him there. I would have just took the guaranteed kill. I'm not gonna lie. You're 1 shot, right? So like, look at your health, right? So if we go back a couple steps, right? When you're up here, right? You're absolute, right? That's their spawn. The only way you're gonna get healed is if you go this way, right? And you ping for a heal. Like, in what world does dropping down here make sense? You're just gonna die, right? So like, yeah, just be aware of your health a little bit more. Right there, if you would have reset, got healthy, and kept fighting, maybe you impact the fight a little bit more. Well, not maybe, you would. Right, so right there, it's just making better decisions. I understand that you're probably really overwhelmed right now with all the like just lost fights y'all have had. I get it. I've been there. Obviously we're here to improve though, right? So you just gotta lock in. You gotta just kind of like have a short-term memory when it comes to fights, in terms of just like, hey, we lost that for a dumb reason. Just forget it, move on, right? And this is a new fight. You know, let's not make the same mistake. You know, that you died there for a dumb reason. There's no reason for you to jump into main. You know that. I don't have to sit here and tell you. You're smart enough to comprehend that, and people watching probably feel the same way. Just like I said, be more aware of your health. Well, you got revived. Res beacon. Here we are. So you're not gonna be able to kill anything with that unless you pull it out. Nice, nice. Good kill. Yeah. I mean, I would have been ambitious and gone for like ults there. Like the second I would have got Shark low, I would have jumped up just to avoid damage from other people shooting. Land on him, hit the extra shot, jump again. Maybe I don't know if that's the right play or not, but I would have used my ult already because it's definitely been a lot of fights. Coming back though, we're winning this fight. No ult. I don't know if I really feel like I haven't seen you get this infinite ammo, so I'd definitely be asking for it, like, for this next fight here. Like, I would just, like, ask for it now and just spam this choke as they're walking up. Nice kill. Good ult usage, right? Nice. Go again. Yes. Nice. So one thing I would say is definitely slow down with your ult usage. You're doing the right thing, but just be more methodical, be more precise. Because what can happen, and this is a problem that I've had, I probably still have, to be honest, is I'll just like get a kill and I'll instantly go back in the air looking for the next one. But sometimes like you have 7 seconds to where you can activate it to go again. So like obviously 7 seconds on that 6.5, you pop it, and now obviously that ult is active, right? So it's not like it'll run out. So just like take your time, like don't rush. Because you know, it's not all the time where the kills will be back to back to back to back, like immediately. Sometimes it'll be like armed and dangerous, slam, shoot, 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 again, shoot, 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 hold it for a bit, again. Like you don't have to do like again, again, again. Like that's beautiful, but it doesn't always work out that way, right? So I would just say, especially think of it this way. Like let's say you got a pick, but you popping that ult pulls out a support ult. You have 7 seconds to go again, right? So you can like try to wait it out, right? Like you know, go again, right? And then maybe you can land it right before the support ult ends, or right, you know, as it ends or whatever, right? So like you can kind of draw things out. Good frag. I'd get a little bit closer. Because right now, if you're just spamming damage, if they're smart, they're gonna just let you do damage because you're never gonna kill them from here, and they're gonna let their supports uh, build ults, and then once they get ults, they're gonna come in, and then they're gonna have ults to fight. Compared to like you probably won't have your support ults if they're not shooting at you, because they can not shoot at you and you shoot them, so that your supports don't get ults, but then theirs do, right? Because they're sitting at 48, 58, and right now they're at 46-6, and if they're smart, they won't shoot you back. They'll build up their ults without you building up theirs, and then they'll just engage, and then you won't have anything to counter it, right? I would say you could probably play like here, nothing too crazy far up, but at least here you could play in a position to where you can look for a hook to pull somebody in to your team, right? And even if you can pull it here, maybe dash them this way, whatever. But I'd play a little bit closer just so you're a little bit closer for a hook. Nice, 2 kills. You don't need ult. Got a minute 40 here. There you go. Ay. Another like unconventional use of Bucky's ult. Some people like probably won't agree, but when we think about Bucky's ult, obviously we use it for executes. We use it to win fights. But I wouldn't even be opposed like to use it for mobility as well. Like the higher you get, the harder it's gonna get to just get that like execution sometimes. So like if you notice like it's a little harder to get, or like if you just really need to get out and your little dashes are gonna take you the distance. Like a little niche tip, people, like I said, people might not agree with me, but if it's life or death, like if you being in a position is going to get you killed, I would rather you ult up and get out with your ult and then maybe use your dash to get around the corner than to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna die because I'm in a bad spot, right? Like, I think that's also a decent way to use his ult. Just keep that in the back of your mind and in the tool bag, in the arsenal. Not saying that that's going to be something you do often, but it is an option. Don't be afraid to use your ult to live, because you dying a lot of the times can just lose you games, lose you fights, due to the fact that you're the only person that you can depend on, because you're the only constant in your games. So the longer you're alive, and as well as you're, applying pressure, giving impact, right? It's valued for you to be alive. Because every time you're dead, that's what, 12 seconds where you have to depend on 5 potential monkeys, potential idiots, to do their job correctly. And if I've learned anything from being in Celestial, it's you can't trust anybody to do anything, not even your duo. But yeah, obviously we know that hitting the wall with your ult is bad, but it's whatever. So you see how like you use your dash and stuff up there. Now you don't have the link to fight this Black Panther. You have to rely purely on mechanics to beat this guy. Thankfully, you did get a bubble too, but just be careful. Like using like going up on this right side here. Like I'm not a fan of what you were doing here, because you could have easily made a mistake and got punished for it. Thankfully, they didn't hard send you with tanks, and you got a bubble, right? And you probably still would have won it without the bubble, but I wasn't a big fan of that little walk up there. Because you don't really have that speed to be able to disengage like most characters would. Nah, good hook. Honestly, I'd shoot past the tank. Like right now, like you're shooting into one of the hardest persons to kill when you have access to their backline. Like let's look at this, right? Let's just think about this target priority here, right? But like, oh yeah, look, you have 3 just not even debatable better targets to shoot at, but you're shooting at the thing who's getting healed by 2 healers, right? If you shoot a healer, you might get a pick. You should, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should the farther back healer. Like, think of it this way. Like, I think the best person to shoot is the cloak and dagger. And then the second best person will probably be this guy, and then Luna, and then thing. And then break it down if y'all need it. The reason why shooting the cloak is the best is because she's the farthest back, meaning that for the Luna to heal her, she'll have to turn around. The reason why the second best person to shoot is the Moon Knight is because since Luna is in line with the thing, orbs and windows from the cloak will heal them both at the same time, making it so that damage you hit, if you're not blowing her up instantly, they'll just both kind of still get healing from that. But the Moon Knight, on the other hand, the Moon Knight, since the Luna's healing the thing already, what this does is this forces the cloak and dagger to heal this part of the fight. So now it's a divide here. So now you have these two guys trying to sustain each other, while these two guys are trying to do that as well. Compared to both supports are keeping this fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, keeping this tank going, right? So we need to, when it comes to priority, I know in the moment there's no way you're gonna think about this, but the more you see the scenario, the more you'll be able to kind of decipher it quick, and you won't break it like down in your head, but you could be like, oh, this is the best target. Why? Because she's in the back and no one's gonna peel for her, and I can get free shots because nothing's blocking me from doing so. Hook, 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 no! You can counter his ult. Wait for him to slam it and grab him. That's fine. Now you're counter ulting. You have 5 seconds left, not against this. Boom. Ooh, big ult. Boom, big ult. Oh, we gotta do you some justice, man. We gotta do you some justice. We gotta go back. We gotta let your fans see. Because you're probably like, oh, he didn't look at it. He didn't look at it. We gotta give you your 5 seconds of fame. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's collaborative time. So right here, when I hear armed and dangerous, what I would have done is I would chill here, let him slam. Because my mentality is, if he lands on my backline, I want to yoink him off. Because the second he lands, most of the time he's gonna shoot punch and kill something. So in my head, I'm like letting him land, right? And then I'm already I'm winding the hook up and I'm grabbing him and I'm pulling him off my team, right? So yeah, that's what I would be doing here. But obviously your team handles it and you go in and you handle business. So. Oh. Nice. Big damage. Big damage. Oh, you gotta hit that. Good round. Good round. Now we're off to offense. So I'm cool with doing a similar thing. It looks like they got off of the BP. They didn't want to run it for the defense here. Don't blame them. Remember that you can't pull the thing. All you can do is stun them, so just be mindful of that. So I would look for hooks past the thing, but I would also use the thing as a way to kind of just like let damage filter into the back line. Nice angle here. This angle also allows you to shoot the tank without having to peek their backline. Wow, that's a very ambitious hook. Yeah. Yeah, it may seem very enticing to hook the thing, but we both know that. Oh, good dash, good dash. Oh, you gotta finish it though. Oh, that was a good attempt. Nice, ended up getting it anyways. Here we are. It's clobbering time. There it is. I felt that shit in my bones. So yeah, definitely get out of mid so you're not. So I'd play more around card here. So like right here, like you're in the open, right? Like you're just in a position to get shot. Like I'd be here, like I'd be behind the card, like walking up here. Like I want to reduce the amount of people that can see me. If I'm playing here, I can only see the Magneto and maybe this. But by you being here, you're seen by so many more than you have to be, and it's just it puts you at a lot of risk. Nice, good kill. Don't even need drill here. I'd press the issue here. I'd finish this kill. Just stun. Oof. Alrighty, so the 3 notes that I'm going to have for you today are going to be, number one, communication is key, be a leader. As we saw in the beginning of the defense, where's the defense? Yeah, the first defense, we were really struggling with staggering. And sometimes it just takes one person to speak up and be like, hey guys, like, we keep dying, we just need to reset because we need to take a full-on team fight, right? Just don't blame nobody, don't put nobody down, don't make anybody's mood any worse than it already is. Because I promise you, when somebody gets Elim first, in the back of their head, they're probably like, these guys are flaming me, like, ugh, already, right? So like, don't add to that fire, right? Don't add to that negativity. Don't let that person's mental melt more than it already is, making your game that much harder. Right, just call for resets, call for, to use certain kind of ults or what ults are coming up, right? But be a voice, be a communicator, right? Because there's not many of those in ranked, and the more people that are like that, it will make the ranked experience better and better, right? Number two is going to be spacing. Spacing is very important. You need to know when it is and isn't okay to be in the mix, right? There's going to be times where I'm okay with you being a little bit more forward. There's sometimes where you got to chill a little bit, right? And it can vary from not only map to map, but comp to comp, right? Like, for example, once we realized they have a BP and we didn't have, like, the tools to really peel for it, like, okay, that's my job now, right? That's your job. But if that wasn't the case, then you playing, behind the tanks and kind of just spamming, you're cool because you have an idea that your supports are relatively safe and there's not much that you need to directly protect them from. Just, like I said, know when to be up and be in the mix, know when to chill back and protect your team. And yeah, right. And then number three is going to be open to creative plays or ability usage. Your mechanics seem pretty well. Your aim was on point. You were using your ults well. I wouldn't say there was too many bad ability usages. One thing that I really didn't like was the fact that the second you would hear the shark ult, you would try to use it to get away. That little ass dash is not taking you fucking nowhere. But if you wait to the last second, you see his circle pop up when Shark's gonna ult you, then maybe, and maybe just then, literally, you can try to time it and just dash out of the circle last second, because every time you've dashed, you got grabbed, and it sucked because you kind of just like get nommed, right? With that being said, too, just like I said earlier, just using your ult in creative ways, whether it's not only just the use it for kills, but play an aggressive position and then use your ult to get out, right? And it's like, oh, well, I'm using my ult to move, like, that's dumb. Like, it's okay. Like, there's gonna be times where, like, getting those executes are going to be really hard because of how much healing there is and how many shields they have and this and that, right? So if you feel like you're just not going to get value from it, you could always just mix it up. And with that being said, that's going to be the conclusion to this VOD review. This one was it felt kind of quick. I could be wrong though. But yeah, hopefully you all learned something and enjoyed this video. If you or someone you know would like to get coaching, you can use the link in my description. That'll bring you to my Discord, in which you can submit for a free VOD review. Yeah, hopefully you have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be. It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. God bless everybody. Take care.